What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Lavida Podcast. Thank you as always for pretty much getting out of your ways and then, getting to us and give us your feedback regarding the other two interviews. Is highly appreciated. Today we are in South Central. We are interviewing a good friend of mine. He owns a business. It's called Broadway Tattoo. It's a solid individual. So, Lefty, how you doing, brother?
Good. We're right here.
Thank you for having us here today and your premises. Highly appreciate you. We want to see if you can tell us a little bit more about yourself, and can you pretty much introduce yourself to the viewers, let them know who you are, what's your background, and all that, please.
All right. So I'm Lefty. I'm the owner of Broadway Tattoos. I'm a tattoo artist. I've been tattooing since 2003. I was born and raised in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Grew up in Pico, Union area. That's where I grew up at. I was doing good. I was going to school. I was trying to stay out of trouble, trying to do good. And I did good. I think I did good. I think middle school was my best school years.
Okay.
I did really good. Just going to school, graduated. Like I said, we did good. Never thought my life was going to change afterwards, but I ended up going to Belmont High School.
Okay.
I went 9th grade and then flunked.
Okay.
And then I went again, tried again, and then I just ended up dropping out.
You're trying to drop out. What year was that?
That was in, I must say, maybe 96, 95, 96.
That was different eras.
Yes, it was really different,
really
man. Everything changed right away.
Drastically.
Yeah.
How's your family background? Your mom and dad, where they're from?
My mom, she's from Puebla. My dad's from Puebla. I wasn't raised with my dad, but
Okay.
my mom was a single mom.
Okay.
She raised 6 of us.
Okay.
One was raised in Mexico. It was 6 brothers. My flaquito was the second oldest. He passed away from cancer, and then I have my other two brothers and my other 2 sisters, and it was 7 of us in total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Single mom and all that.
Yeah, she was single mom and
hardworking woman.
Yeah, man, she struggled, but she hanged in there.
Good.
She took care of us. There was always food on the table,
Yes,
and that's
sir.
what matters.
Yes, sir. So at what point in life you started making any changes in your life, and you started seeing that, you instead of going straight, you started making a left?
You know what?
Type of situation.
I must say once when I was going to middle school, that's when everything started changing a little bit.
Yeah.
We started. The homies used to hang around at the house and everything,
Yeah.
and we would talk to them, but the jefita told them never get my kids in the neighborhood, and we stay away from it, But that one day they came, they blasted at the house, and they almost got me. And
blasted at your house?
Yeah, they shot at the house, and
Wow.
2 bullets almost hit me in the head. And thank God I'm still alive, And that's the day that my life changed.
Okay.
The homies hit me up and like, they're gonna take care of you. Might as well get in the hood,
Yeah.
And like a dumbass, I go and I ended up getting in the neighborhood, and that's when my life changed. That's when everything changed.
How did that?
So it's a trip because the next day I got jumped into the neighborhood. The next day I was there's Pico Boulevard, right? So
Yeah.
I used to go to the 99-cent store across the street from there, and that day my mom said, "Hey, ve trae esto, so go buy this stuff from the 99-cent store, whatever." I'm like, wait, I can't go over there no more, and like, what the fuck? So I told my brother, "Hey, fool, you go, I can't go." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I ended up telling him what happened. And that's when I knew it changed. It changed my whole life, because now I'm from this neighborhood, and now I can't just be anywhere, everything changed. And that's when everything was different.
At what age you got involved into that?
I was 16 years old.
Wow.
16 years old. I think I would have been from the neighborhood a lot sooner, when I was a lot younger, but my mom used to always be on us, and she used to tell the homies not to get us in the hood, so that's what kept me away from it. But that day, that almost got killed, that's what everything just triggered. Like, man, like this is real now, you know. And now these guys think I'm from here now, and
of course,
man. So I had to get in the hood, and it was gonna happen. It was gonna happen. You know?
Yeah. At that time, eventually, it was everywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know, and that's what I tell everybody. Back then, the difference from back then to the kids now, for us, being in a gang was the thing. Yeah. You know, you want to be from a gang. You know, you want to go to jail and earn your stripes, and you want to come out of prison. That's you graduated college already. You know, sadly, that's what it was. Yeah, that's the truth.
You're right.
And I was already in there, you know, and I'm like, man, dude, it was the thing. It was the thing to do back then. And now I feel it's not the same. Now they see us, they're like, oh, that's a low life. You know, we don't want to be like that, you know? Yeah. And that's, man, I'm all for it. I hope you guys stay away from this. And I'm glad the streets are not as crazy as they used to be. You know, thank God because back then you couldn't be in the bus. I mean, I got down on the bus, dude. Like, that's how crazy it was, because anywhere you weren't safe anywhere. Yeah. You know, we weren't safe anywhere, you know. And the ones that were still standing at this age, we're blessed. I mean, yes, sir. We're blessed for standing here, for doing the things we're doing.
Chopping it up and
we're
all
blessed.
that.
We're blessed to be alive, and I thank God for that every day.
Of course. How did that decision as being affiliated change your life, and how are you looking at it from far away as of today?
You know what? It's just crazy, the things we had to do, man. The stuff that I never thought I would do, you know. And like I tell everybody, I'm not scandalous, you know. To me, it didn't grow up in me to hurt people and stuff like that, you know. But when we had to do things, like I always said, I only played the game with the people that were playing my game, you know, which is gang members. Yeah. My people that were carrying their groceries, I'll help them out. In my neighborhood, they love me. My people love me, dude. Good. I see them. Hey, what's up, homeboy? Everybody knew my name. That's dope. Everybody knew who I was. That's dope. And they weren't scared of me. They respected me for who I was. I respected my people. I took care of my people. Yeah. You know, if they needed help on anything, I help them out. I'll drink a beer with this fool. I'll be carrying a 12-pack. The Paisa will carry a 12-pack. Hey, wait, and I'll be drinking with them. They love me in my neighborhood, you know. And but yes, we did play dirty with the people that played the same game as we did. Yeah, because
you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You know what I mean?
Exactly what I'm saying. And that's what I said. Like, I didn't want to hurt people, but I hurt the ones that I know were going to hurt me. So I'd rather they cry on your pad than they cry on mine. That's how I see it, you know? Definitely. That was my mentality at the time.
Wow. Yeah, it was definitely different times, and overall different era of what we have currently today, you know what I mean? And all of that made appreciate life overall of what we have today.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like you said, you know, a lot of our friends, they don't have the privilege that we have. Either they're incarcerated or they're dead, or, you know, in a different place. And I feel that by us looking at it from far away and appreciating that and actual embrace it, that can take us to a different path overall in life.
I feel that's what makes us appreciate life now, you know, and make us do better decisions now. You know, the life that we had, how blessed we are to be here. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
To have a second chance, for me to have a second chance, for you to have a second chance. Correct. You know, man, fighting life. I was facing 15 in life or all that stuff. So we'll go back to when that happened. But so when all this was going on or whatever, I ended up getting locked up. I was 16. I think I had just turned 17 when I got locked up. And it was an experience for me because I've never been in jail. They don't tell you the rules, what's going on. You're learning this at your own pace. I mean, you know what I mean?
You learn real quick.
Yeah, you learn real quick. Really quick, man. And you know what? Give big shout outs to my homie, Javi. Now they call him Javi. The homie, he's doing really good. He's the one that schooled me, man. I was lost. I was in the house. I didn't know what I was doing. And he told me, man up. Get on your feet. don't rank it,
Yeah.
and handle your business.
That's right.
And if I find out you do any of those or you rat or anything, I will find you and I'll beat your ass. And it stuck to me, homies, and I did my best. And thank God, homies, my name is clean.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
because
sir.
we live by our name.
Yes, sir.
Our word is our bond, homies.
Yes, sir.
We say what we're gonna do, and we do it.
Yeah.
You know. And thanks to those words, I was able to go through those 3 years in county juvenile hall and prison, right? So I ended up getting locked up for attempted murder. They dropped it to assault. I ended up doing 5 with half.
Okay.
I started in the level 1, and it was crazy the first year. So trip out, I'm in Delano, and the priest comes. And I tell my celly, why is the priest here? He's like, the homie downstairs, his jefita passed away.
Oh, wow.
And it clicked. I'm like, fuck, I never thought about that. He's like, yeah, his jefita passed away, and they're talking to him, whatever, and the guy's crying. I'm like, fuck, homeboy, I never thought about that. My brother's fighting cancer. He'd been fighting cancer for 4 years at the time already. He had leukemia. He was a year older than me. That was flaquito. And I'm doing the first year. I'm like, man, I'm in level 1. So I'm like, if this is prison, I got this. You know, fucking we stayed in the yard till 9. It was all good. The program was good, you know. So I'm like, I'm learning here little things or whatever. And then my brother passes away a year later.
Wow.
They call me to the office, and I'm thinking, the only reason they call you to the office, somebody ratting on you, you're adding more charges to your case, or something's gonna happen with you, you know?
Yeah.
So my heart is fucking pumping. I'm nervous as hell, and I go to the office, and they're like, hey, you have a brother named Galdino Vasquez? Yes. They're like, he has cancer. Yes. And he's like, oh yes, he passed away, I believe on Monday.
Wow.
I found out a few days. He passed away on Monday or Friday, but I found out like 3 days after he passed. They didn't even tell me before anything, right? So she just told me like that, your brother died. And I'm like, trying to process this, and I'm like, did you just tell me my brother died? He's like, yes, your brother passed away. Fuck, homeboy, I broke down. That's my brother, you know?
Yeah, of course.
My mentality was, we don't die.
Yeah.
You know, other people die.
Yeah.
We don't die. Sadly, it sounds stupid. I was 18 years old. At the time, I was already 18, and I didn't think we die. My family don't die because it never happened to us.
Yeah.
And I broke down, homeboy. It was the hardest thing I've ever went through, and I'm still a little kid, and I didn't have my family. My jefita went to see me every week at the juvenile hall, Silmar County. Sadly, prison, she could never go. She never did, and it's all good, you know. For the next 2 years, I didn't see none of them. My mom don't drive, you know. She still has to deal with my older brothers, you know. And he passed, and that was my hardest one. And then like a few months later, the riot jumped off. That's when everything went down. So I ended up going to the hole. I ended up picking up 90 days, and then I ended up getting down with my celly. I ended up picking up another 90 days. So I ended up doing 6 months in the hole. And then now I hit the level 3 yard. So now everything changes, politics, everything changes. And now it's like, wait a minute, it's not the same thing. It's not Disneyland, homes.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing a whole different change, you know.
You're dealing with real people.
Yeah, so now you're dealing with serious stuff now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I took it serious. Don't get me wrong. I went with the rules. I followed the rules. Everything we had to do, we did, whatever, you know. And now we're on level 3, and everything started opening my eyes, started learning about politics and about everything. Now I'm like, wait a minute, this is more serious now than what it was. And I ended up doing another 90 days. I ended up doing another shit that I had to do in there, and I ended up going to the hole again. And so I didn't tat in there. I didn't tat because I didn't want to go to the hole again. Nothing for something that I didn't need to go for.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing 3 years, and that's when I got out. And a different journey, a harder journey that I didn't expect, because now I'm an adult. I was a little kid. Now I'm an adult out here in the street. Now I have to work.
Wow.
and pay rent and bills. So everything changed for me. My life changed.
Wow. When you were in prison and you were doing your time, that's where you learned the trade of tattooing, or how did you got yourself involved in that trade?
So when I got to level 1, like my mom, I never really liked asking her for money because I know she was already taking care of my brothers.
Yeah.
And she was dealing with my brother that had cancer, and that, at least that I understood, that I got myself in there, and I seen all these guys asking for packages and all that stuff. My mom never had it like that, so I didn't ask for much, you know, and so I was struggling, dude. Man, so many times I was hungry, dude, you know, and one time my homeboy Shaggy, I still remember my homeboy Shaggy, man, he was going home and he's like, check this out, Puppet is my hood name, so he's like, well, check this out, Puppet, I don't have money, homeboy, but I'm gonna leave you a trade. So he left me a stack of papers, different patterns and color pencil paper, color pencils, and he's like, this is how you're gonna eat, Holmes. If you really want it, this is how you're gonna eat. And that's how I started. Throughout my whole term, I was doing greeting cards, cards for love letters, all that stuff, dude. And I had to learn how to do nice writing and all that. And that's how I was eating. And I did one tattoo. That was I was almost towards the end of my term already. And I tattooed this youngster. He got me everything. I told him, I don't have money to buy nothing. He like, you buy it, I'll tattoo you up. Because he see me drawing, so he's like, no, you need to tat me up. So he got everything. I did a name. It didn't come out as good as I wanted. And I'm like, I'm not going to get into it with somebody that they don't like my work or whatever. I don't know how to tattoo. So I didn't do it anymore. And I didn't want to pick up more time. I wanted to go home already. I wanted to see my mom, my brothers, you know, and I didn't learn how to tat in there. No, I didn't. Yeah.
But you were already drawing.
I was drawing a lot. Yeah, I was drawing almost every day, man.
Can you tell the viewers as how that process goes? So I'm assuming there's youth or a few viewers that they haven't encountered that. So as when you were doing either the love letters or anything like that, so you will sell it to the inmates and they'll.
Yeah, we'll trade. So what they'll do, they'll tell me for a happy birthday or somebody passed or anything, we'll have little cartoon characters or something like that, a bear with flowers, draw it off for them. Because a lot of the homies, they don't like to write. Yeah. So I do have nice writing, you know, so we'll do little nice letters for them. And we'll trade for sopas, for toothpaste, make sure I have my soap, everything, you know, that's my priority, my soap, my toothpaste, all that stuff. Sure it was so important. That's how we would do it. I would trade for anything that I wanted. I would trade for food, mostly for food,
Wow. That's dope.
And it's crazy because there's a lot of drugs in there, you know, and I wouldn't waste my money in that.
Smart.
So I'm gonna tell you this one story. One time, it was in the beginning. No, it was. I got one package. Oh, it was towards the end. I got 2 packages throughout my whole term, and my last package, I think my jefita sent me some stuff so I could dress when I was going home, or so I forgot what it was, and I got my package, and this one youngster, he's a big ass homie, dude, and he's like, "What's up, puppy? What's up, homeboy?" He's like, "Hey, fool, you wanna slam?" I said, "I'm gonna stop you right there, homeboy. My jefita homies barely made this package for me, Jose, and I'm not gonna spend this shit like that. Homie. Don't come at me with that shit, Jose. If you wanna get lost and do all that shit with the homie, handle, homeboy, you're not gonna play me, though. Stay away from me, homes. I don't want it." And nah, I wasn't gonna spend the few supplies my jefita brought me to slam or do anything of that. You know, I do a couple of times stupid shit. Yes, I did, for being a dumbass in the beginning. But nothing that I bought. You know, the homies will be messing around, and I ended up doing, but not no serious drug. I don't think it was serious drug, but no, I never got into drugs. I was thinking smarter. I didn't want to go to the hole for anything stupid.
It's understandable.
You know, and another thing, just to put it out there, my mentality when I was in there was already, when I get out, I have to change. You know, I have so I could have gotten blasted so many times, and I didn't. All my tattoos that I had at the time, they were all not visible. They were all like on my back, my arms, my legs. something I could still hide, because my mentality was I need to get out and I need to get a job.
Makes sense.
I need to help out my family.
Yeah.
And that's why I never got blasted. Now I'm all blasted because I'm a tattoo artist. That's what I sell, and I have a business to show for, you know. But just to let everybody know, my mentality was I have to change. Oh, before all this, I'll show you a picture where I don't have no tattoos, so you see what I mean. Please, So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel at that time, having a face tattoo or a tattoo that it was visible, it was like a taboo, you know. People didn't they felt some type of way about it, you know what I mean?
Especially during that time, because I got out in 2000. I got locked up in 98. I got out in 2001.
Wow.
And it was still like it was still frowned upon. Like they didn't want to see you tattoos because they don't want to give you a job.
Correct.
You know, or they know you're a gang member if you're all blasted. And my mentality was, I have to get a job when I get out, and I'm not gonna do it if I'm all tatted up. You know?
Makes sense. Makes sense. So you fasting forward, you did your time, and you got out, and you were like, hey, it's about to get released. How was that in your head?
It was scary, man. It was scary because when I moved out, now my jefita moved out here to South Central, because she didn't want me to go back to the neighborhood.
Okay.
And sadly, I still ended up going back a couple of times. But we moved out here in South Central. I moved out with my brother. My brother got me a little room. He had a little room. And we're struggling, dude. I was trying to get a job. Keep in mind, I've never been out of Pico Union. I don't know nothing out of Pico Union. All I know is Pico Union.
Pico Union, yeah.
So I would get lost on the bus.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't find my way. A couple of times I got lost, and I'll be walking around for hours, dude, until I had the address written down, and I would ask somebody, hey, how do I get here? Oh, it's only around the block. I'm like, fuck. That's how crazy it was, because I didn't know my way around. And I would go apply for jobs, and they wouldn't give me a job. I didn't. Keep in mind, I got locked up when I had just turned 17.
Okay.
I got out when I was 21. I didn't know how to drive. Even when I was doing my gangbang and all that stuff, I used to go work with, my mom had a boyfriend. I used to go with him to Home Depot and go, they call it esquinear, you know? You go and they take you to clean construction and all that.
Correct.
And I would tell them, I don't know nothing, but if you tell me what to do, I'll do it. Labor, I'll do it, you know? And that's how we dress up, you know? So I didn't mind working. I love working, you know? So when I got out, it was hard for me to find a job because my record, you know. So the only jobs I could get was warehouse jobs. That's about it. But I'll tell you this, I would get this paycheck though, and I would look and I used to just look up, and I'll be like, God, there has to be something more than this, dude. Like, I cannot live like this, dude. I can't, homeboy, you know. And
I understand. And
I ain't lying to you, dude. Sometimes I wouldn't have a job for weeks, and I had to pay the rent. Sometimes I'll cry, homeboy. I'll sit on the stairs and I'll be like, man, like, help me out here. I'm trying to do good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the story. I've always said it. So I'm like, I'm going to go back to what I know how to do. So I went to Go Slang.
Okay.
Keep in mind, I'm on high risk parole.
Yeah.
I went to Go Slang that night. I came back and I was playing a video game. And I had the drugs on the table, I think. My brother came in, and I didn't feel it then. I noticed till later I was being jumpy. I was playing the game, I was jumpy, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? My brother looks at me like, you're high? I'm like, no, what do you mean? He's like, no, fool, you're high. Your eyes are fucking wide open. I'm like, damn, dude, the rap fell out. So I was taking it in. I grabbed him and I flushed him down the toilet. So I said, I'm not gonna go to jail for this, dog. So I ended up going back to work, and I was struggling, dude. So then one time, my homeboy Casper, he comes out of prison. He's doing good, man. He wanted to do good. His mentality was good. So I went to go see him. We were talking. He's like, I'm gonna tat you up. So he started tatting me up.
Yeah.
And I took my drawings. I want to show off what I was doing, learning in there, you know. And I showed him some of my drawings. He's like, damn, fucking puppy, you got down. I'm like, did you tat in there? I told him, nah. I told him the reason why. And then he's like, you should start tatting, fool. There's money in it. I'm like, man, fool, I don't know how to tat. Like, fool, he made me a machine. Like, go fuck him up, dude. Jeez. So I went, and one of my coworkers at the time, I told him, hey, fool, let me tat you up. And he's like, yeah, fool. So se puso, perdóname, madre mía, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling this fool, and he's all bleeding. He's like, hey, man, echale tinta. And I'll be laughing. I'm still laughing till now because it's funny, dude. And over here, he's all bleeding. I'm over here tearing this fool up. And I'm like, man, this ain't it. Like, the ink wasn't going in. I'm like, man, dude, I'm not going to be filing the needles all the time. And I'm like, nah, dude. So at the time, there's magazines. We didn't have computers at the time. I'm talking about in 02, 01. No, around 2002. And I'm like, you know what? I seen a kid on the magazine. I ordered it, and I started tattooing in houses. After work, I bought a toolbox. I have my stuff right there.
Yeah.
I just wore gloves. I whatever I seen that made common sense, that's what I did. There's no YouTube, none of that stuff to help us. So I tat people up, dude, you know, and sometimes they'll come out nice, but you can't compare to no other artists because there's not a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Back then, you were tatted. They only cared that you were tatted.
Yeah, that's it.
So me, I was fucking them up, dude. And one time I tell my brother, I count like, fool, I get down already. I tatted this fool. It came out nice. And like, all right, tat me up. And I tatted him like, fuck you. I fucked him up. He's like, I'm not going to let you tat me no more. Yeah, see, bro? And I'm like, fuck, dude, I fucked that one up. And for 2 years, I did that. And I started buying flash, and I'll have my flash and everything, and I would see that I would get my paycheck, and whatever money I had, I would buy more supplies.
Okay.
And little money I get, and I would buy supplies. So give me enough to buy supplies, put gas on my car, and that's when 9/11 hit, and the gas prices went up. I went and bought me a Lincoln Town car, 8-cylinder fucking car. So now with the minimum wage job, I can't afford it, dude.
Yeah.
So with the tattoos I was making my little money to put gas and everything, so I was doing good. So I did that for 2 years, and then I found out City of Industries, they had tattoo supply store. So I was all happy, so I drove out there, and then that's when my brother met his homie. His homie had his tattoo artist.
Okay.
So me and the tattoo artist started talking. I'm like, I just started. He's like, I've been tattooing for this long. I'm like, I want to open up a shop. Yeah. He's like, well, if you open up a shop, I'll go with you. He's like, but you got to give me 60-40, because normally it's 50-50. Give me 60-40, give me 60, and I'll teach you.
Yeah.
So I opened up my shop. He schooled me a little bit on whatever I had to do, and that's how I opened up my first shop inside a swap meet. I ended up getting a loan, and that's how I started with my first shop.
Oh, wow.
And so out of all the jobs I had, on this was my last job I had. I was a driver. And I was taking the clothes to Disneyland and Universal.
Okay.
I wasn't making a lot of money. I was making like $300 a week or whatever. I used to go in at 4 in the morning, get out at 11:30. In the summer, I would go in at 4 and get out around 3 something. So when I opened up my shop in the swap meet, I used to go to work, come out at 11, and then go open up the shop in the swap meet, close at 7 or 8, I think. And then I would go home. I would do this every day, Holmes. My days off were Tuesdays and Sundays, I think, or just Tuesdays. It's been a long time. And man, I busted my ass off, homeboy. I'm gonna tell you this. I worked, no sleep, man, tired, and I did that for like 3 years. 3 years. I ended up getting fired from the job because of the manager. They changed the things around, and he wanted me to do more work than what I was supposed to. And I'm like, I'm on a time schedule. Yeah. I can't be doing your job. You guys have like 20 motherfuckers here. I'm not gonna do your job. So he told me, can I use your radio? I let him use my radio. He ratted me out on my own radio to my manager. So then I got mad. And keep in mind, I'm always professional. I'm always respectful. That day I wasn't, and I called him out and I told him, let's go downstairs, homeboy. They didn't have cameras downstairs. I'm like, no, he got scared. He went out. So he walked away, whatever, and the next day on Monday when I had to come, he comes downstairs and opens up for me. He didn't come downstairs. He went and called the security guard, and the security guard told me, what you doing? I'm like, nothing. He's like, fool, that fool don't want to come over here. I'm like, fuck. And now I knew I was in trouble. I'm like, so he opened up. I did my job. I went to the other spot, to another drop-off place. When I was coming back, the manager called me. He's like, you're in trouble. I'm like, what did I do? He's like, fool, this motherfucker saying you were gonna beat him up. I'm like, who? I'm like, I didn't say nothing. He's like, well, he's saying that you told him you were gonna bring in. I said, let's go talk downstairs. He took it differently. He's like, well, they're gonna suspend you and they're gonna investigate. And I ended up getting fired. So I ended up getting fired. And you know what I realized? Now my shop is a little stable. We've been there already for a year, 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
And it was real slow for a long time. And I started picking up because I talked to people real good. And I realized that I have game in tattooing. I could talk to people like this is what I could do. I'm like, oh shit, you know. So I was a little busy, so I seen I could make money. In my regular job, I was only making like 150, taking away the gas money and the little stuff that I bought to eat or whatever. I was only making 100 and something a week. It wasn't even worth me getting up in the morning every day.
Wait, 100 and something a week?
Yes, because you added 300.
Yes.
But I had to pay gas.
Yes.
Which I worked in San Gabriel Valley, so I was spending almost like 120 a week on gas. So I wasn't even making a lot of money. And I didn't realize that because I was already programmed. Go to work. Yeah. Go to the shop. Do not lose your job in case this falls.
Makes sense.
But I was making more money in the shop. Backup, yes. So, but I was making more money in the shop than I was doing here. So I'm like, man, I ended up focusing to this. I was there. So this is the crazy part. This is where everything went crazy. So I lose my job. I realize I'm doing more here. So I'm like, I'm gonna just focus here. Like a month, 2 months later, I lose my shop.
No way.
So this was gang related. I can't get into details, but it was just, I couldn't be there no more. Nothing that I did. It just where I'm from and the situation that happened. I couldn't be there no more, so I had to get out of there, Humps. I got out of there ASAP. Either I get in trouble and do something stupid, or I just remove myself from the problem because I have bigger plans.
Correct.
So I get out of there. Now I don't have a shop. Now I don't have a job. But I had a little money stash. I always saved up a little bit. And trip out how everything works out. I didn't have nothing no more. So I still had the shop. I just couldn't be there. Okay. So because none of my tattoo artists banged. It was always busy. So my shop name, when I opened my shop, I changed my name. So my name is Puppet from my neighborhood. Yeah. As you know me, Lefty. Yes. So when I opened up my first shop, I said, I gotta call my shop something else. I cannot call it Puppet's Tattoos or anything active. I'm like, Lefty. I tattoo with my left hand. Okay. I'm Lefty. Smart. So I called it Lefty's Tattoos. So none of them banged, nobody in the shop banged. So the shop was still there. I just couldn't be there. Okay. Like 2 weeks later, one of my customers called me. He's like, hey, Lefty, I want to get tatted. So I told him the situation. He's like, I have this spot available. You could tattoo me here. So he had a party supply. This whole thing was a party supply. Wow. And he had like this was a whole one. This was a room right here. He's like, you could tattoo me right there. So I'm like, it has to be sanitary. I can't just tattoo you like that. I'm like, I got to chill right now. He's like, how about this? I'll rent you the spot. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah. So we went to the back. I checked it out. I said, yeah, but I can't tattoo like this. So I have to make it all clean and whatever. He's like, all right. So we made the deal. As soon as he said yes, homies, I built a little room. Nice carpet, everything clean, homes, and I started tattooing here. Wow. So my customers, because the shop is not that far from the swap meet. Okay. So whenever my customers will go over there, I'll bring them over here. Make story short, now I have a shop and that one's still running. So I'm like, okay, I'm back on the game. So I'm like, man, I'm going to take over.
Now you have 2 shops.
Yeah, so now I have this one's more underground because nobody knows I'm here. Yeah. And then like 6 months later, the guy couldn't pay the rent no more. So I ended up taking over the whole shop. Wow. So check this out. 2 months before, I guess he seen I was making a little money. He's like, hey, can you help me with more rent? You know? Yeah. I'm like, oh, like you only have a little spot, dude. Like, you know, I'll give me half of the shop and I'll give you half of the rent. And I'm like, I'll sell clothes. I'll figure something. I'm a hustler, dude. Yeah, of course. We'll figure it out. He's like, nah, it's not going to work. I'm like, well, it's not going to work, homeboy. So then the next month, he's like, I can't pay the rent. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what am I going to do, homeboy? Like, I already built all this, you know? And I've been like this for maybe a few months, 8 months, I think. I'm like, to make story short, I ended up taking over. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't sleep that night home because this is a big step now. Now I gotta pay 2 rents.
Wow.
Now I'm gonna pay double the rent here. So I'm like, you know what?
How old were you at that time?
I have a really bad memory. So anything I tell you because I kind of remember, and something I'll be off a little bit. I'll say I was maybe like 25.
Okay.
Maybe 25, 26, around there.
I'm asking all these questions because, sorry to interrupt you. I just want to make sure that the viewers are able to understand the age that you took that responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That at that time, you know, it was different era, different times.
Yeah.
It requires certain finesse to become a self-employed individual.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And needed to have some discipline.
Yes.
And needed to have some within you that is not being taught.
Yes. Oh no, you're learning everything as you go.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the part that I wanted to share with the viewers and let them know that at your age of 25 years old, and you already went through so many things on your youth, yet you still moving forward, making the best out of it, and you over here trying to get a second business. You know what I mean? At that time, it was really hard.
Super hard. And you know what? It takes a lot. It was a lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of sleepless nights, dude. Because this month, I'm not sure if I'm going to make the rent, the bills. And nobody told me nothing. My family don't come from businesses or nothing like that. You know, we all work. And that's how I was taught. The only reason I'm not working still there is because I got fired. If not, I'll still be working there.
It was a blessing in the sky.
Yes, it was, because that's what made me open up my eyes, be like, hey, fool, there's more to this. And so I couldn't sleep that night. I ended up, I had money saved up again. You know, at the time I had credit cards.
Yeah.
I maxed out all my credit cards. In 2 weeks, I spent $18,000. All my money, new floors, new paint job, everything, dude. I was in the hole. I needed a little bit more money, and I called my mom. Right away, I called my mom. Mom, this is going on. I need money. How much do you need? How much do you have? Mijo, ¿estás in problem? No, I need money. I'm building a shop, and this is going on. I just have $2,000. Give them to me. They're yours. Come get them. She gave them to me like that. Wow. I grabbed them. They were gone like that. And I'm like, fuck, what did I just do, man? You know? And I'm like, fuck it. There's no social media. At the time, it was MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah, I didn't even run MySpace, dude. I only had like a picture. I didn't know nothing about that, dude. Like, I'm not.
We're not a gadget person. Yeah, I understand.
So I was like, dude, you know, so business cards, flyers, that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's how I was promoting.
Of course.
And I remember I was in the mall buying some stuff. I forgot what I was buying, and they called me, hey, fool, Lefty, there's a customer. Come take it. Motherfuckers, you guys better start. Because they wanted me to do the first tattoo. I opened up the shop. I got to be the first one to tattoo.
Okay.
I said, guys, start tattooing. We need money to start coming in, dude.
Yeah.
So that's how we ended up here.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of money, a lot of stress. I tell everybody, this was my baby.
I'm sure.
Now it's a monster, dude. Now I feed that motherfucker. Like, I keep on promoting, I keep on doing things, you know. And remember I told you when I was young, dude, my mentality, and I tell you this, my mentality was, I'm gonna be a mechanic, I'm gonna have 6 kids, I'm gonna go home and they're gonna hug me, and I'm gonna be all dirty from my uniform. And I don't know where everything changed, dude, because I ended up going to prison. I was sitting my son, I look up through the cell and I'd be like, what happened? You know, like, what am I doing here? My heart's not bad, dude.
Yeah.
I know I did a lot of bad stuff, but before that, I wasn't that, you know, but it just changed. And then now I'm a tattoo artist. I never thought I was gonna be doing tattoos for a living, honestly. You know, like, my mentality was, I was supposed to have 6 kids, I have 5 dogs. Yeah. I couldn't have kids.
Wow.
Everything changed, you know, and I struggled so much, and I went through so much here in the shop too. I ended up going to jail 4 more times, I think. The big, not big one, but the one I took a big loss was when I got locked up 3 months in the county. And during that time, that's when I lost the shop on 59. I had another shop during that time. I had opened up another shop. 3 shops. This one was on another swap meet. on Alameda and Firestone. That one's closed already. And I had 3 shops and I lost 2 of them.
Wow.
And I almost lost this one. When I got out, my brother was already in debt and he's like, we're losing everything. And out of nowhere, I ended up getting out. I didn't know if I was going to get out. I got out. And what's going on? This is going on. Boom, I got on my toes, started selling, moving, got my money, paid the dues, and we're back on track.
Wow.
And that's when I told myself I gotta focus on this shop and this shop only, because I had 3 shops, but I was like this every day. They need this. This is going on here. So I said I'm just gonna focus in one, take care of one, and that's what I did. And that's what's been going on with the shop, and I've been doing really good, thank God.
That's dope, brother. That's dope. I mean, it took a lot of strength from you to do what you do today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it took a lot of falls for you to get up and say, you know what I mean? I don't want to trip on the same rock.
Yeah.
Type of situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I go back on the same sentence that I say before, that part, there's no books for that. There's no teaching for that.
No. Yeah.
People need to be hungry to understand as, hey, I'm struggling. I need to be a better individual. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You know what I think? What mattered was that every time I fell, I got up.
Yeah.
And I didn't choose the easy path. Every time that I fell, I got up and I worked hard at it and I got back on my feet. The first time that I had lost everything was when I lost my job.
Yeah.
And I said, wait a minute, we could still hang in there with the shop. And then I lose the shop, and now it's like, I'm back at it again, like within months. I don't have no plans to, ain't nothing telling me, hey, chill, you got this going on for you. No. Now what am I doing? Hold on, let's figure this out. Now this happened. Now this is where I was at, in this little room. And then this closes, like, we can't take care of the shop, the place no more. You're gonna have to shut down.
Wow.
I'm like, wait a minute. No, there's this door now. Let's go through this door now. Now let's open up the whole shop. But you don't have a lot of money saved up. But you got your credit cards now. You know what I mean? I always told myself that you have to take care of your credit. Without your credit, you're nothing.
Correct.
If I didn't have that credit, I wouldn't have to shop. If I didn't have good credit, I wouldn't have gotten the first loan to open up my first shop in the swap meet.
Makes sense.
Which at the end, man, I paid way more than what I should have, but thanks to that, I ended up here.
You got that experience in the first shop as to be entrepreneur and created more than you were expecting.
Yeah.
I see it outside the box as you pay for an experience.
Exactly. Yes.
It costs you that amount.
Timon.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The experience that you got from that era and from that time and getting your first business, even though your vision was on left.
Yeah,
you know
Timon. Yeah.
Your vision was, I'm over here, I'm gonna be a auto mechanic, yo voy a llegar and I'm gonna do something else, and end up going to the right. And I'm going to the right.
And it's a trip because I don't even like changing. I don't know how to do none of that shit, and it led me to this. Now I walk in here sometimes and I can't believe it, dude.
Wow.
And trip out. So remember, I didn't have tattoos, right? So then I started getting this one. This was my second one when I was already on this shop, I think. And I got tatted here. The reason I got tatted here is because I wanted to learn how they did the shading, get a little bit more clecha, Okay. So my mom got mad. She's like, hey, like you're doing 2 steps forward instead of going backwards instead of going forward. What are you doing? Okay. My mom thought I was just fucking around. Oh. Because remember, tattoos.
At that time, it was a taboo. It was a taboo, definitely.
So trip out. My mom never came to the shop.
No way.
So I built my shop and everything, and she came a year later. She walked in, homeboy, with her mouth wide open. She's like, "This is your shop, mijo?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Wow." I'm like, "I didn't know it was this." I'm like, "I've been telling you, this is my business." Like, what do you think I was doing? Yeah. She's like, "Well, you're getting tatted." I'm thinking, people don't pay for that shit, And I'm like, "No, mom, this is my business." She's like, "Man." And now if you look at her, She has business cards on her fucking purse all the time. She'll be promoting and she's proud of it, you know. She's proud of that, you know. We're trying to still make it happen, you know. Sir. I'm not gonna say we're all the way there, homies, but we're there, homies. You know, I don't work for nobody. I work really hard for what I have, homies, and we're here, you know. We're here now.
Now your mom, you said that is promoting you, and now she sees everything different now that you created your own business, and she came over and visited you and all that, you know. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Good, man. You know what? It feels good because now instead of giving her a headache, now she don't have to worry about us, about me no more, you know, being in the streets. You know what my mom always says? Ya para de tatuarte la cara. Like, Mom, this is what I sell. This is liquor stores sell liquor. You go to Walmart, they have everything. They sell what they sell. You know? Me, I sell tattoos. I want people to look like me.
Like you said, you know, she feels proud of you, of what you become today. You know, what are your thoughts on that?
So, you know what? I'm happy. I feel good that my mom don't have to worry about us no more. You know, about me. You know, now she's more at ease. You know, she knows that I'm not out there. Like she says, she's like, you know, like, you gotta stop tattooing yourself, you know. And I tell her, you know what, this is what I sell, Mom. This is my advertising. I want people to look like me. I want people to be like, I want to look like that guy, you know. And the good thing about now, this generation, is that everybody's tattooed. Yeah. Women are more tatted than vatos, I think. Now, I've seen that. They're more sleeved up. Yes, sir. Morena, she's all sleeved up, you know. And that's a good thing, because now they see it as art, what it should have been from the beginning, you know. Correct. And I like that. Look, they say, my mom, they say, if people really knew who you were and how you look is different, and I'm like, yeah, Mom, I know we're not bad people, you know, but yes, I look like this, but I have to sell what I have, you know.
I think that people judge a book by cover without reading it. Yeah, situation. ¿Sí me entiendes?
And it's understandable, because I know we don't look like good guys. I know, honestly, you know, if you see us walking down the street, you're going to be like, let me watch my purse you know or my wallet, you know.
Yes, sir.
But we know, I know I wouldn't, I know you wouldn't, you know, we're changed men.
Of course.
You know, we're not who we used to be, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, I feel that's a blessing for us to make better decisions overall within our lives.
Simón.
Porque al final del día, at the end of the day, it will affect, you know, not just us, the people around us.
Simón, yeah.
Like you stated that you were in there, and then your brother, rest in peace, you know, he passes away. You were not able to, you know, give him a proper. You know, you being there when he was buried,
Simón.
And then you needed to help your mom and all of that.
Yeah, you know Simón.
I mean? So overall, I feel that sometimes we just don't see the consequences from our actions that we make. Does it make sense?
We think we're never gonna get caught, or we think, Simón, we're not gonna do time.
Correct.
Yes, and that's where we're wrong.
Yeah, I feel it's a big reflection now that we see it outside the box, and now we're standing out here, and we're looking at it from a different point of view. And you're like, oh shit, you know, it's definitely a blessing. It's an eye-opening experience overall. You know what I mean? To appreciate those moments.
Simón.
¿Sí me entiendes? Because I'm pretty sure you embrace them. It makes you who you are today as a man, as an individual.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes?
Simón.
Yeah, because you have a warm heart. Since I met you, you always been humble. You always been a solid individual. You know what I mean? And overall, that's what carries you as a person.
Simón. Yeah, like sense? My homeboy always said, you know, whatever you say, you do.
Yes, sir.
Your word is you.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always carried that with me, and I am who I am, and we're not bad people. You know, we're good people. We're just trying to enjoy life. Our goal is to enjoy life, try and stay as good as we can.
Positive as
possible.
You
know, and that's it, homies. Yeah. Can we still make mistakes? Yeah, nobody's perfect, dude. Of course. You know, and we just learn from every mistake we keep on doing, dude. And if you're stick to the positive things, you're gonna get good positive vibes. But if you do bad shit, you're gonna get bad shit back. Sir. You know, so you can't play both. Yeah. You cannot be doing this and doing this at the same time. Either you stay to good, because if you do bad and good, the bad is gonna catch up to you, and then you're gonna be, why if I'm doing good? No, man. So if you're doing this and this, it's not gonna work out.
It's gonna cut up on you.
It's not gonna work out.
For every action, there's a reaction.
Exactly.
Either good or bad. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you have a good reaction, then the outcome is good. Like you stated, you know, if it's bad, then you got to deal with the consequences
Simon.
type of situation. But that's great. Thank you overall for sharing all of that personal experiences of your life. Where are you standing today? As what gives you peace?
That I'm doing good, man. That I'm focused on just working. Now I'm working on my health. We're not as healthy as we used to be, so now
we're not that young.
I try to cut down on the drinking. You know, I feel good about that. I try to go every day to the gym. I feel good about that. You know, those are good things that make me feel good in life. In my relationship, dude. It helps out a lot. You know, we're not perfect, like I said, and I think that's what makes me good. You know, and that I'm not out there doing, you know, stupid stuff that I used to do, that I'm doing always something focused to help me and my family out, and whatever I could do so we could keep on pushing and enjoying life, because life is already hard as it is.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of bad shit out there, and I feel if we keep on doing good and focus good, then, you know, we stay away from all that negativity, dude.
Smart. That's a great advice. What it's like, did you ever had a mentor that give you that role model?
You know, I never had my dad. So I don't know how that would have worked.
But maybe a friend or someone, you know, that you encounter through life, you know, through that life.
You know,
relative, uncle,
my brother Fernando, man, he's worked so hard since I've been out. He was even younger. He's younger than me, so he was like maybe since 16, 17, he's always worked really hard, and he's always focused on himself and trying to be better, you know, and now he has a better job. He's doing really good, man, and I admired him. And every time I messed up, and it was always me messing up really bad, dude, and I would come to him, and one time I came to him really bad. By bad, I mean really high, and he never looked down on me, dude. He just told me, chill, and everything's gonna be okay. And I always looked up to him. He's my left hand.
Good.
I put his name on my left hand because I'm a lefty, so he's my left hand, Holmes. He's the one that has my back, dude. And I admire him.
Good.
And you know, one person also that I admire is my suegro. That guy, man, he works and breathes for his family, dude. And I don't think. I see them as hardworking people for their family, dude, and I feel that's what I would have wanted to be if I would have had kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my brother Tony, he's a hard worker. I mean, he's there for his family too. I feel my mom raised us pretty humble.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're pretty humble, and we're not bad people. Plaquita, my sister. I have one that's not doing too good, but I love her to death. And but yeah, I say my brothers, my suegro, he's a hard worker, man. I think those are people that really impacted my life, that wanted me to be a better person. I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's great. What are your personal values that are more important for you?
My values, pues my family, homies. My family, my business.
Family man.
My business, my family, my priority is my family, dude. My sisters, my brothers, my mom, Morena, you know, her side of the family, man, their family is always, they're real united. I see all that, dude. My business, this is my baby, homes.
Yeah.
On Broadway, I breathe on Broadway, dude, and my dogs. I'm not gonna lie to you, my dogs changed my life. Those are my babies, dude. I don't have kids. Those are my kids. And I tell everybody, dude, I cook for those fuckers every day. So those are my babies. I cry for them. I take care of them. I do everything for them. Those are another impact in my life. I think those are my babies too.
Wow.
Yeah, my family. Those are my family.
That's nice. That's great advice, brother. Is there any way that you want people to remember you?
You know what? Just the truth. I really, once you're gone, homeboy. You know, that's how I see it. I feel like whatever I do now, I just do it because I want to do it, and take care of whatever I have to do, whatever I help people, which I helped a lot of people. And I don't know, people sometimes could take everything so different. Whatever people want to think of me, they could think of me. I'm gone by then.
But is it, let's say, your wife or any like your brother or your
you know what? That I love them. That I love my family. That I love.
Yeah.
Morena. Just then, everything I do, I change for my family, for her, for my brothers, my sisters, for my nieces on Morena's side, my nephews on that side. Everything I try to change, I feel I did it for them.
That's nice. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Care for the family overall. And at the end of the day, I feel that always, even though we don't see it, family are the only ones right next to our bed when we're sick.
Yeah.
When we on the hard times, they're the ones are giving us a positive push.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We get to see the true people when it comes into when we're struggling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense. How do you deal with regrets or mistakes?
I feel the mistakes we do, we learn from them. So we have to have mistakes, Nobody's perfect. We all do them. The regrets, the only regret I have, I feel, was that I wasn't there for my brother when he needed me. That was my biggest regret. That I never had him when he needed me. That's the only one I kicked myself in the ass for when I was locked up and everything. Even though when I was still locked up, we would talk, we were good. Man, me and that fool used to get down, homies, till we bleed, dude. But you know what? We loved each other, homies. If somebody would touch him or would touch me, homies, we put hands real quick on them. Pero the only regret was that one. Because going to prison made me who I am.
Yeah.
So I can't regret that because I wouldn't be tattooing now. I wouldn't be doing this, which I love. It's like drawing, dude, and you getting paid for that, I love my business. I love coming to my shop. It's not like going to work. I love being here, talking to people, their stories. It's just, I feel if you're doing something you love, homie, it's not really a job, And I've heard other people say that, and it does feel that way, homie. I love what I do, and I feel like construction workers, when they built the house, that they should be proud of that shit, because not a lot of people could do that.
Yes, sir.
I feel everybody has a special thing in them that they could do.
Yeah.
And that tattooing is mine.
That's you. That's dope. That's a great answer, brother. What is the best advice that you have received?
The best advice
through your whole life, that you feel that has impacting you, that you have it stop in the back of your head?
You know what? My jefita always told me, homies, never steal. Never steal, because the minute you steal, you will never be trusted. If you go a house, you see $1, you leave the $1. Never steal, homies, and always respect people. And my jefita always taught us that. I guess that's why my mom wasn't the perfect mom, Mama used to whoop her ass, pero my mom taught us to respect, respect and never steal. I'm saying, when I was a little kid, I used to steal a lot of shit. But as I got older, homies, I would never take $1. I would never take nothing, homies. I would never disrespect nobody unless you come at me different. I don't care if you're the president, homies. I have to respect you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think from my jefita, respect and never steal, homies.
That's dope. Yeah, I feel the respect overall from my era, it was definitely a must. People always, I heard this sentence that you might not like me, but you will respect me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I grew up with that type of mentality, so I can definitely understand you.
Yeah.
So when you're going through those difficult times and, struggling and all that, how did that shape you to who you are today as a man?
How did it shape me, man? You know what? I'm more, I'm not responsible. I like to spend money, dude. But you know what? It made me more aware of things. Like I gotta take care of more of my business. Like I gotta be a little bit more responsible. Before I was more party mode and more destructive. A lot of years I was, like I said, we're learning from our mistakes. And when I started making a little bit more money, before, let me tell you this, I didn't used to drink at all. When I got out of prison, to me, buying a beer was a waste of money because I didn't have not even for a beer.
Wow.
And I wouldn't drink. I didn't drink for so many years. When I started tattooing, and I'm not saying it was a bad thing, it's just the way I chose to spend my money was the bad way.
You picked and choose.
You know, I could have done way more stuff than I'm doing now, but I lost myself for a lot of years. And I wasn't with Morena at the time. I was with somebody else, and I was lost, homies. I was doing a lot of drugs and a lot of drinking, and I wasn't taking care of my business. I was making enough money to pay rent, bills, my priorities, and then the rest went to trash. And now, homies, I make sure I take care of my business. I make sure I take care of the stuff at the house. Make sure everything's okay, you know. And before it wasn't that. Before it was, I make sure the bills are paid. Now I make sure we got enough drinking and beers and all that. And my priorities were real bad. And now it's not like that. Now I make sure everything around me is good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Now that you've stated that, what triggered you for you to take those decisions and going back into the past as you drinking and making those decisions? Are like, was any burden that you were carrying, or what trigger you to take those decisions and take that route?
You know what I feel? I I didn't. My priorities weren't straight. I didn't have nothing. I didn't think about nobody but myself. I feel that's what it was. And now my priorities are different. I have my babies at the house. I have my Morena here. I have my jefita if they need my backup. I have so many priorities now that I have to look at to make sure I run a straight lane, and I have to run this lane because I gotta do good.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes? That's what I feel. What it was that I had to get my priorities straight, and that's what made me change everything.
Wow. So how is Lefty deals with any setbacks or disappointment now in life, at this stage in life?
You know what? Now we just. We run with it. I feel now whatever comes, it comes, and we just sit back and think what's gonna be our next move, and try and figure it the best way possible. Like I get to think a lot more than before. You know, now I have a lot more to lose.
Makes sense.
Than before. You know, my reactions, not all the time. Sometimes it is bad, but I try to check myself on a lot of situations, and I do act different. I think as we get older, we get wiser, and that's how we take them. We think before we react sometimes. A lot more, not all the time, like I said.
Yeah. But
we try to think before we react, because
that's nice. Definitely, I feel that when we were younger, we never felt that. We never understood the consequences. We were like really quick to react.
Simon.
You know what I mean? It was just like, hey, fuck it. You know, whatever comes.
Simon.
We roll with the punches type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you didn't care because you want to show them that you're more than. And now is, I don't care what you think. I have to look after myself. Like I told Morena, I don't have lawyer money. So I'm like, I don't have money to give away to a lawyer or something I don't need. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in jail. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I want to stay away from it. You know what I mean? So we have to think different now. We have to react different. And she's the one that's helped me think before I react.
How did you guys met?
She was my neighbor. They had a store next door.
Okay.
It's a trip. So they live next door, and they were already here for maybe like a week or two. I'm not sure. I met all her sisters and everybody. And one day I was passing by, and in the middle of the street, she was fucking doing something stupid in front of her sister's car, and I looked at her and I started laughing, dude. And I'm like, who the fuck is this chick, you know? And she was all raggedy too. She works in the Swami with her parents. She was all dirty and shit. But something caught my eye, dude, and I'm like, and just keep in mind that I'm not really those, hey, what's up, trying to talk, you know? So it took me a minute to reach out to her because she was always with her parents.
Okay.
So there was a crack lady. I call her a crack lady or a street lady. I don't know how you guys want to say it, but the lady used to do drugs.
Yeah.
And she used to always go next door and talk to them. So when I seen her, I said, oh, and the husband will come in paint. The guy was doing airbrush. So I'm like, hey, I'll give you $10. Go get her number, you know? So she goes and gets her number, and that's how I get it. I called her and I'm like, hey, I'm the guy next door. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, I want to go out, whatever. And that's how we met. And she says she had seen me before.
Okay.
And she seen me outside, and she said she was scared of me. I'm like, well, you weren't that scared, motherfucker. You went out with me the first date. But yeah, that's how we met, and we started dating, and man, we already been 15 years.
15 years together.
In October. Almost.
That's a blessing. Hi, Morena.
Hi.
How you doing? So you're the queen of Lefty here.
Sometimes. When he doesn't hate me. When he's not mad at me. No, I'm just kidding.
So tell us how you guys met and how do you...
So we met here. I was his neighbor at the tattoo shop.
Yeah.
So that's the story everybody knows, right?
Okay.
But prior to this, we kind of met, what was it?
Oh, yeah, it was
around years. Mind you, there's an age gap between us.
Okay.
It's about 8 years gap.
Yeah.
So I came out in this quinceañera as a dama, right? I was a dama. I was there. And I had told him, hey, at this quinceañera that I was at, you know, somebody fought. There was a big fight. There was chairs flying. There was a guy that got beat up like a mop. They dragged it from here to there.
Oh, wow.
So nothing happened. We just ended up telling him that story. And then one day we were going through my pictures, my old pictures, right? And he was like, who's that? I was like, Maria. And he was like, how do you know Maria? I was like, I came out in her quinceañera. I was like, I was fighting in her quinceañera. And I was like, what? So we were sitting like you guys are sitting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was 8 years younger.
Oh, wow.
So I was like a mocosa. And he was older, so we didn't pay attention. But we were sitting like this, and then the fight broke out. So we knew each other prior to this.
So he was a fighter.
He was a fighter.
Yeah, they beat me up bad. Honestly, yeah, I was the one they were dragging. Yeah, so tell them after.
And then after, well, I ended up coming. My mom opened a store next door, and him and the people at the shop back in the time, whoever worked here, used to help my dad unload sometimes the stuff. Hey, do you need help?
Yeah.
You know, and all this stuff. And I seen him. And I was behind a U-Haul helping my dad unload something, and he came over to grab something like a box of onions or something. I was like, ooh, he scares me, right? And then I started laughing, no mind to it. Afterwards, there was another guy that came to that tattoo shop. That he sent some. No, I don't think he sent him. He just told one of my sister, hey, like, you know, one of the guys likes the girl here, and I was like, so my sister called me, hey, that some guys likes you. I was like, yeah, whatever. I thought she was playing.
Yeah.
I was like, tell him to tell me. So then the lady came in the night later on, and she asked me for, hey, can I get your number? And I was like, no, why do you want my number? She was like, oh, you know, just in case we need something. No, so you need my mom's number. She was like, no, I need your number. But why my number? Get my mom's number. So we kept going back and forth. I was like, fine. I gave her my number, and then he ended up calling me in the night, and we met out here on the street.
Wow.
And he was drunk.
Yeah, that's I had to get courage.
Then 15 years later, we're still here.
Looking back, how do you see his change?
It's a big change. When I met him, he liked to party.
Mm-hmm.
I was not the partying person. I was at the house. He would call me drunk. Hey, sometimes you don't come in. He will come home at 3 a.m. I'm over here fuming, you know, smoke coming out of my head. We got into it a couple times. His life is way different than how I was brought up.
Yeah.
I was brought up as family all the time, and this is our circle, and nobody enters the circle. He was more about partying and doing all this stuff. So when we met, it was a change for both of us, where his perspective and my perspective were completely different.
Opposite.
You know, we were opposites, complete opposites. And I told him, like, he knows this. He's seen it. I didn't have to tell him. That was not my life.
Yeah, it wasn't going to work out.
It wasn't going to be that. You know, if I had to make some changes, he had to make changes, and we made it work.
Made it work.
Yeah.
What made you as her partner, made you make those changes as well, knowing, understanding, you said it right now yourself, that it was the opposite, you know what I mean? But you still saw something in him that you felt that it was okay for you to embrace.
Not a lot of people know this, but he's a big teddy bear. You know, what he appears, he's not.
Yeah.
What you think his reactions to stuff would be, it's completely not, you know? He's a really nice person. He'll take the shirt off his back to give it to anybody. You know, and I'm over here like, what are you doing? You know, I'm the person that I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You know, why are you being nice to me? Like, all this stuff, you know? And he's, I don't care, here. And I'm like, we don't have money. You just gave the guy $100 and we're broke. But there was a guy here on the corner, Jack in a Box. And it was like 1 in the morning.
Oh, yeah,
He was with his baby in a stroller.
At 1 in the morning.
And he was like, what the hell? He didn't know who it was. So he turns around, pulls over, and he's like, what's going on? Why are you with your baby in your car? They were sleeping in the car.
Wow.
So he ended up giving him, here's $100.
That's all I had, homeboy.
He told him, that's all I have. Get a hotel for you and your baby. Like, here's my shop. If you ever need me, like, you know, I'll try to help. Come find me. That was it. A couple of years later, same guy comes in. And he's like, you remember me? I was like, no. He was like, I'm the guy you helped. You know, till this day, that guy brings in customers.
Yeah, he'll bring me customers. He sends on me.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, and I told her, and she gets mad a lot of times, but I tell her that I don't do it because I need something back from them. I do it because God bless me, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been blessed to help a lot of people whoever I can. I will always do it. I've given my last dollar, Holmes, and we just, like I said, we're not bad people. We always had a good heart. Even since I was a little kid, I'm gonna tell you this story. My mom had bought me this bike. Keep in mind, I'm telling you, my mom didn't have money, dude. We ended up buying a brand new bike, and I was all happy riding my mountain bike, and for maybe like a week or two, brand new bike. And I used to work at a liquor store in my neighborhood, and I'm like fucking like 12 years old, I think, at the time. And this guy comes, a homeless guy, like, hey, let me borrow your bike. I need to go over here. They stole my stuff and this and that. And I'm like, okay, take it. But just make sure you bring it back. I get out in an hour. Mm-hmm. He takes it. 1 hour passes. He don't show up. And I only live like half a block away from the store, so you could see the store from my house. So I went home, and every 15, 10 minutes, I'll go to the store and check. And then my mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. He's like, where's your bike? Because I always be on my bike. I'm like, I'm going to go get it right now. So I took off and come back later. She's like, where's your bike? I'm like, man. I'm like, look, this is what happened. This guy came, they stole his stuff. So he told me, ay, mijo, estás bien pendejo. And she always said that, you know, like, man, like, when are you going to learn, you know? Where did he go? He went that way. We went to Torreman Park, I think. All right. We went walking, looking for the bike, and nothing. I said, you have to understand that the way you think, a lot of people don't think like that. And a lot of people are not going to help you, and they're going to take advantage of all that. Remember that. And I always remember that, but I never listen. Morena's the same way. She tells me a lot, but I tell her, you know what? They could take advantage as much as anybody wants, and I will lose a lot of money and a lot of my time or whatever, but you know what I don't lose? Me. Yeah. And I do it because of this.
Your heart.
And I'm still standing.
Yeah.
I'm still walking. I'm still good. And okay, I will lose, but I'm still gonna do it. Tomorrow, another motherfucker's gonna come and they're gonna ask for my help. And if I can, I'm gonna do it. And if I feel that I could make a change in them, I'm still gonna do it, because that's who I am. Yeah. I'm not gonna change who I am.
That's true.
And
that's right. That's great, brother. At the end of the day, your struggles has make you see the bigger pictures on other people's faces. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's the part that when you said that Morena won't explain that story as you look in that individual, and then at 1 a.m. with a baby, going through that. I mean, right in the hood is, we think about it like, what the heck, you know what I mean? Yeah. And not everyone out there will make the decision as making a U-turn and going chopping it up with that man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it had to be done. It's crazy. It's hard. That one really hit me almost because he was with his baby almost at 12 or 1 in the morning.
Wow.
Dude.
But look, your actions, we were talking about actions and reaction, and your action, it's like a tree feeding water, that eventually gave you a fruit. That man, seeing it from far away, that man eventually remembered that you gave him your last dollar for him to get a hotel. At that time, I'm pretty sure for him that was a lot.
Yeah, it was because he was homeless.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a lot. I'm sure he was going through a lot of stuff, and for you going out of your ways, it's just for him. You were an angel to him.
Yeah, and I think he's doing good. Sometimes I was him. I haven't seen him in a minute, but he ended up getting a job. He was doing good. He's a good homie. He's a really good homie, and I think he's doing good now, man. And yeah, one time he was slow and he brought like 3 customers.
Wow.
And I'm like, what's up? He's like, nah, remember I told you I'm never gonna forget you. I'm saying he'll bring me customers here and there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so that's why I tell you, it's a blessing for him. It was a blessing for me now,
Yeah, I feel that our actions let me rephrase that, our decisions that we make in life and through life can eventually either pay back or can be marked to the people that we make it to.
Timon.
Make sense?
Timon.
Stating as an example that if we do something wrong to another individual, that negativity, like you said, it will come back to us.
Yeah, it comes karma.
It come back to us one way or another. It might not be today, tonight, or tomorrow.
You'll get it.
You will get it back.
You will get it.
And I feel that story is a perfect example as you going out of your ways and helping this man, and he remembers right now and then bring you a customer. So paid off definitely.
And not even thinking of that, we did it because it had to be done.
Yeah.
Not thinking, oh yeah, I'm doing it so later you could bring me clientele. You do it because you want to do it.
Understand.
And if you ever do something expecting something back, you're always gonna be how do you say it? Disappointed.
Yeah.
Disappointed because you're not gonna get it. We're not gonna think the same as everybody else.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So, disappointing. It's a lot. You said the words properly, and I feel that nowadays people are expecting something back if I do something to you.
Timon.
You know what I mean? And I don't see that. If you do it the way that you do it and giving you heart with that favor without expecting it back, I feel that's the best thing to do overall. And hopefully the viewers are able to understand that bigger picture of what we want to bring overall through this podcast and and all of that.
Yeah, be good, man. You know what, homeboy? If everybody did one good deed, imagine how good we'll all be, man.
Yes, sir.
Instead of trying to attack one another and hate one another and all that, and it just would be a whole different world.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, slowly we can start within ourselves to make that change.
Yeah, Simon.
And then sharing that positivity to other people, and then that will be up to them if they want to change or not.
And then,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. We gotta start somewhere.
Yes, sir. And I feel with ourselves to change and then carry on that to everyone around us.
Simon.
So all of that. What is Lefty favorite quote that you have? Is there any quote that you have?
Man, not really. Just work hard, homies. I don't have a quote, but I just say just work hard and it pays off. It pays off. That's honestly what I would say, man. For us, just work hard. It pays off.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Well, thank you overall for opening the doors from your shop and giving us a little background. Your story to us and to the viewers. So they can see and understand. Your struggles. In life, and at the end of the day, you now are a business owner. The people called us a so-called minority, but at the end of the day, we're not a minority anymore.
Yeah.
I feel that by having a small business and creating jobs to other people, that's putting us in a different category.
Man, and you know what? I've had a lot of apprentices that turned to to tattoo artists that now have their own businesses as tattoo artists. And a lot of people grew out of your homes.
Yes,
We've
sir.
been here since 05.
Wow.
Since 05, and a lot of people have walked through here and became tattoo artists or even business owners.
Yeah, that's good. And I feel that maybe you're not taking enough credit to yourself, but you created that.
Mm-hmm.
You opened
The doors.
the doors and those people's eyes to believe in themselves.
Simón.
¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah.
And I feel that you should have more credit into that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we want to show that to the youth and to the viewers that, you know, your decisions that you made for yourself created that to other individuals.
Change every.
You know what
So
I mean?
a lot of people's
Yes,
lives.
sir.
Yeah, Simón, huh? Yes.
Positive way.
That's true.
¿Sí me entiendes? And I feel that you should have credit for that, brother. Because
I
at the
didn't
end of
see
the
it
day,
like that, yeah.
you know what I mean? If we step outside the box and see that on a different perspective, you gave the blessings to those individuals that came to your shop, worked with you, learned your ways, and they went on their own ways to
Simón.
share that blessing.
They get their wings and they fly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, overall, thank you for sharing that with us. And I have one last question for you. And, you know, overall, be honest of what we, you know, on this question. If you had your younger self today, you know, right next to it, and what would be the advice for your younger version?
Make better decisions. Make better decisions. I think if I would have made better decisions, I would have probably accomplished a lot more stuff. I mean, I've accomplished a lot, but I seriously would have told myself that to make better decisions, because I would have probably, I feel like I could have done a lot more, but we still got a lot more to learn from them. So yeah, but other than that, we have to learn from the mistakes we did. So I wouldn't say to change what I did, because that's what it made me now, you know. But maybe make better decisions on business or on myself, you know, like all those years that I threw away just drinking and all that, you know. I think it was a waste of time and money, and I could have spent a lot more time with family, you know, instead of just lost in my own world. Yeah.
Understand. Thank you. Thank you for that advice. Thank you for speaking out from the heart. You know, that means a lot to us. And again, thank you for opening the doors to not just to me, to the viewers, so they can see you within you and see who you are. You know, not just the face of Broadway Tattoo and Lefty as the owners. You know, who you are as a person. You know, thank you again. Thank you for the viewers for always checking in. You know, for the comments. For subscribing to the YouTube channel that eventually humbles us. To our sponsors, you know, definitely without them, without trusting us, we won't be here either, you know. That will be Sitting Bull Cigars. He's a solid individual. He trusts us into the podcast. He donated a couple of cigars. We already used them, but we just want you to know he's definitely
he's a good homie.
Yeah, he's definitely a good individual. So if you smoke cigars, get at him, you know. You can find it on Instagram, City Bull Cigars. Let him know. Guys, thank you for the viewers. Thank you for again, humble us. And always remember that people will respect you as much as you respect yourself. So always show that. Thank you for the love and support, and have a great rest of your day.